All right, Caroline, thank you. We go back to our top story on the Economy Watch, a wild day on Wall Street.
Karen Caifa is in Washington with a look at what these market swings mean for everyone. Hey, Karen.
Hi there, Courtney and Alex. Finally, something for investors to cheer about. And we understand traders literally did that on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange when President Trump made that announcement this afternoon that he is pausing most of those reciprocal tariffs that took effect overnight. These big leaps and losses in the market have been something to watch even for households without major investments because of their potential impact on consumer prices and even jobs. President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff plan has unleashed turmoil in the stock market.
If you're like me, I am first generation in the stock market. So to see these type of drops is heartbreaking and very scary. And we need to acknowledge that and say, it's okay that you're scared.
When investors believe in a company's ability to deliver on the goods and services they've promised and consumer demand for them, that company's stock often becomes more desirable and pushes a company's value higher. Losses across the 30 diverse companies that compose the closely watched Dow, from Apple to McDonald's to Walmart, mean investors are anxious about what broad tariffs in a global trade war mean for the future.
The longer this lasts, the more of an economic drag it is, with uncertainty, both by the consumer, investor, and certainly people that run companies. And the longer that lasts, the more real economic damage we're doing.
When a company's stock goes down, they can eventually be challenged to make decisions about infrastructure, like hiring and the number of people they can continue to employ. They may also hike prices to cover costs, which can also squeeze consumers. And for those lamenting retirement losses as the market has turned down, experts say it's important to look forward, not back, and stay on top of that money.
What's really important to you always, whether you're taking a loss or not, is what will do well ahead.
And the 90-day pause that President Trump announced today does not include China. In fact, the president raised tariffs further on Chinese goods coming into the United States. But for all other countries, the White House says negotiations will continue. They say about 75 countries have reached out so far. Alex and Courtney.
All right, Karen, and the markets reacted immediately to the news from President Trump. But how do analysts and businesses see this moving forward in the next 90 days? And what does this mean for consumers?
Well, the immediate reaction from most analysts, Courtney, was that this is temporary, right? It's only a 90-day pause. And the real proof will be in those negotiations that the White House has with all trading partners, but in particular, some of our biggest trading partners like Japan, South Korea, and the European Union. There's also concern about things escalating with China. Of course, the U.S. and China, the two largest economies in the world, and neither country right now looking to budge on these negotiations or engage in negotiations. And President Trump escalating the tariffs on goods coming from China into the United States. Markets really like certainty, and right now there's kind of a 90-day bubble where negotiations will continue, according to the White House. But it's probably the case that the markets won't entirely settle until some of these deals are actually announced. So certainly a reprieve for the markets and investors to see all that green today after the announcement, but there could be more volatility ahead.
All right, thank you, Karen.